Hello students, in this video we will learn the short summary of lesson 1, the last lesson. See, Franz in hurry for the school, notices changes in the school, Mr. M. Hamel in his best clothes. Franz, who was a boy who did not like the studies and who was a very careless boy when he was going for the school, he was getting late and that is why he was in hurry for the school, and he started for the school very late in the morning, and he was having fear that he will be being scolded by Mr. Hamel, and as he has announced that he would ask question in the class on participles, and Franz was not prepared for it, but it was a very bright sunny day. He was in a hurry, and when he passed the town hall he notices a huge crowd in front of the bulletin board, and then he wondered that something new must be there, and he was also being told by the blacksmith to go slow because according to him there was a plenty of time in going for his school. Franz reached his school and he was very tired, panting. The atmosphere in the school was very unusual and different from the other days. Everything was very quiet and still, and he peeped from the window inside the classroom where Mr. Hamel was there, and he was thinking that he will scold him, but it was not happen, and he said that you can come in and have your seat. And he saw that Mr. Hamel was in his best clothes, and he also noticed that at the back seats in the class there were sitting so many villagers, the ex-mayor, the old washer, and he was very surprised. Means the Franz was very surprised to see them all, why these villagers have been there in the class. German will be taught from the next day. Mr. Hamel got emotional, his last lesson. And Franz reached school panting. Mr. Hamel was differently dressed in fashionable clothes, usually meant for special days. The backbenchers, usually empty, were occupied by the village people. All of them appeared very, very sad. Actually, they have come to pay their regard for Mr. M. Hamel for his 40 years service, dedication. Mr. Hamel was wearing his green coat that day and a frilled shirt and a hat on it. He was disappointed to learn that, Franz was very disappointed to learn that today will be his last French lesson and last day in school with Mr. Hamel, as the order from Berlin has come that in the cities of Lorraine and Alsace only German will be taught from the very next day and French will not be taught, and that is why he was very much disappointed. He regretted for not learning his lessons very well, and now Mr. Hamel started teaching French the last day, and he was also just feeling himself responsible that he could not teach his students it very well because he has also engaged them for watering his plants. Moreover, Franz was also regretting that he has not taken the teaching of French very seriously. Anyway, the lesson got started on French grammar and writing. That day, Franz was able to understand each and everything because he was taking the interest. But in the last, he saw Mr. Hamel got emotional. He sank into his chair and he was telling that it was his last day. And the old Hosher also felt very sad and tearful all at once. The clock struck 12. The trumpets of the Prussians could be heard because it was the time for them to return. Everything around was very quiet, with the only sound of pigeons cooing and few beetles flying. Mr. Hamel stood up to say something, but his voice got choked, and he then turned to the blacksmith and with a piece of chalk he wrote in big letters on the board, "Vive la France." It means long live France. And he also told that this French language, calling it the most beautiful and logical language in the world. He even advised the student not to forget their language ever and proved that it could be the key to their prison. I hope you understood. Thank you.